Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? It is I, Miss Sophia the Diva, here for another installment of A Diva Disturbed. Did I say that right? A Diva Disturbed. I can't talk today. So, how are you really doing? Let's do a check-in. How am I doing? I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I have a lot of stuff to do, and I'm feeling overwhelmed, and my anxiety is on 10. So that's how I'm really doing. But if you ask me on the street, oh, I'm fine. Anywho, I wanted to hop into this topic because I've noticed that a lot of people have been making these posts about what they kids bet not get for Christmas. Okay. So I'm sitting here and I'm reading Twitter, I'm reading Instagram and these posts, and I'm thinking to myself, what are you afraid of if your son is drawn to a toy kitchen? What are you afraid of if your daughter is drawn to wanting to play with Bob the Builder or whatever? Children sometimes are drawn to the very thing that will define the people that they become. Case in point, I posted about it today on Twitter. And one of the people that I follow, and she follows me, she said, my son, when he was little, wanted me to buy him a cash register so he could do math problems on it. Today, he is now an engineer. She said he was obsessed with numbers as a child. In the grocery store, he would do all the calculations for her as they were going around, shopping. And I'm like, sometimes we're just drawn to the very thing that will make us who we are. But sometimes we're not afforded that because our parents are afraid that, heaven forbid, you want to play with the tool set as a girl or you prefer G.I. Joe over Barbie, then you might be gay, okay? Or a young man playing with the kitchen set will be gay. Make that make sense. Just like this whole gender thing that's been going on where people be like, well, my son is 3 and wanted to wear a dress, so he's a girl. And I'm thinking to myself, when I was 5, 6, 7, I was obsessed with Michael Jackson and I was Michael Jackson, but that did not mean I wanted to be a man. I just thought Michael Jackson was phenomenal and I wanted to be him too. So it's just one of those things where let children experiment. Let them be what they want to be or try new things, because it really has become disturbing to me where people are, so obsessed with what is appropriate and what's not. No, in our society, it's not always considered normal for boys to want to play with Barbie or girls to want to play with you. I did it both. Hell, sometimes He-Man and Barbie were together, okay? Especially if I was playing with my cousin Dwayne or my cousin Chauncey. Any of them, they had all of the tactical stuff you could think of. They had the wrestlers. So I played with that and Barbie. I was a tomboy, honestly, but I loved Barbie too. But, I think that as a society, we should be focused on raising well-rounded individuals. Some of the most world-renowned chefs are what? Male. And that's just a fact. The ones who have all these TV shows and, but that don't make them, that doesn't make them any less of a man or, since so many people are worried about their child, and even if they are, so be it. So be it. You are who you are, you're going to be who you're going to be. But your child, every man especially, you know what my number one, okay, there's 2. My top 2 things for a relationship is, 1, please let him be able to cook. 2, Please let him be able to build shit. Okay, I don't. I wish I had the skills to build stuff and know how to mount things and do things. I don't. I don't have those skills. Now, what I do have, one of my friends told me not everybody can do what I do. I said, but I have fails too. You know, I'm into gardening and plant life and that type of thing. But that is a skill that is innate. That is something that was part of my upbringing. When I was a little girl, my great great aunt and grandmother raised me for a time, and I spent a lot of time in this huge ass garden that probably produced enough food to feed the entire little town that I lived in growing up. But I knew how to hoe, I knew how to plant, I know how to gather peas and beans. I bet he would never let me do greens and stuff, but I know how to shell peas and butter beans and all of that. I know how to cut okra. She would never let me do it, but I watched her time and time again and know what to do when I'm gathering okra, how to cut it and what to do. Shook corn. I do all that stuff. So I could survive on the land, but it really would be nice if I knew how to, really build some stuff. I tat a little stuff in the wall, but maybe somebody should have given me a toolkit at some point. I don't even know how to change a tire. That's why I'm always waiting for AT&T roadside service or Geico's roadside service if something happens. No one taught me that. But I had said that once the pandemic, I probably would definitely start going volunteering for Habitat for Humanity. Maybe I could pick up some carpenter skills there. And I kind of know some stuff because I had to take industrial arts in junior high, but I always avoided the machines because Mr. Galopi scared shit out of me talking about, you could lose a finger, look at this. And I'm just like, because he was this Filipino man. And I was like, oh shit, I'm going to lose a finger and this is going to be a nightmare. So I used to always have the guys or whomever wasn't afraid to touch the machines, do the shit for me, do the cutting, all of that. And I think eighth grade year we had Mr. Cornelius. Yeah, he scared me too. Them men just love to scare us in industrial arts. But I'm just really concerned and perplexed by the level of toxicity and the fear. Like this one ignorant ass mom said, well, yeah, if somebody buy my son a toy grill, that's the kind of cooking boys should be doing. Don't nobody want no grilled steak every goddamn night, no grilled chicken. Shit. You know? Like, why do you want to place your children in a box? And it was evident. When I joined the military and was in boot camp and MP school, it was evident. Male and female just didn't know how to iron clothes, didn't know how to wash clothes. I mean, and that's the other thing. So are boys not supposed to be able to wash their own clothes? Should they not be taught that? Should they not be taught how to iron? Should they not be taught how to clean and vacuum, or are they gonna just live like trash ass pandas for the rest of their lives and then end up getting wives that can't take the shit being in the middle of the floor and just what are we supposed to do with that? Okay, we should all be raising or helping to raise, because Diva has no children. I'm just, as I tell, mother of none, godmother to many. There we go. But I don't understand. It's like all of a sudden, it's like, I didn't want my son to have this. I don't want my daughter to do this. I don't want where to. It's exhausting. Let children gravitate to whatever they want. If they want to play the piano, let them. Shit. That don't make them, like, I remember my stepfather used to say all the time he wished he had stayed with the piano. But because when they were growing up, now mind you, these are children of the 40s, 50s, and 60s. You gonna be a sissy boy. But you don't know what you don't know if you're not looking prospectively, because you assume that that's going to be life. But now with us getting so much more exposure in life, we see that you do not have to fit in that category of what is expected. If you do this, then that means you're gay. If you do this, you must be gay. No, I know for me, I loved wearing men's clothing for the longest, but I did. Y'all could catch me in Oak Tree, in Structure, and JW all the time because, first of all, being tall at my age and in that time, it was hard to find jeans that were long enough for me. So, and but I always dressed it up and feminized it, but it was still, I would be wearing men's jeans. Who cares? But I just really think that as a society, I don't know where this backwoods, stuck in the hood ghetto shit came from, but y'all need to get over it because more and more of us are single these days than ever. So we all need to be raising real well-rounded people because what is he supposed to do? Your son's supposed to do not know how to cook. All he know how to do is scramble some eggs and boil some water and make smoothies all day. That's not healthy. So I'm just saying that some of us need to open our minds up and realize that your fear of what could be, don't worry about it. And like I told somebody a long time ago, I get it. Everyone fears, especially for the black male. Parents already are worried about their sons, black sons, going out into the world and what the world will do to them. Because as we know, many parents have buried their children, their sons. Tamir Rice, Ahmaud Arbery, why can't I think of the boy's name? Brown. So many. So many. And I forgot where I was going with that. See, 44, about to be 45. Mine just gone. But what I was saying is this. Okay, I got it back. What I'm saying is this. I get it. Some people are afraid for black boys to not only be black, but to be gay. Because the world already hates you for your color. But then there's another form of hate that's coming. I get that. But you just have to pray over them and let it be what it's going to be. Okay? Hey, Millie. You just have to. Letting a little boy play with an easy bake or that's the other part. Well, if he in the real kitchen, okay. Honey, you are ignorant and you need Jesus. You need Jesus. And then somebody pointed out, and I'm not being mean, I'm just pointing out what the people said. They were like, how you gonna be trying to say anything about anybody's sexuality low key when your daughter is bald headed and your son got a whole ass ponytail? Make that make sense. I was like, somebody that said something now. Ooh. And the names. See, if you so concerned, you should have been concerned about people looking at their resume with them names you chose for them babies. Mars, MHRZ. Where they do that at? Child, it's some ignorant folk out here. And all I'm saying, in some, to tie this up in a big bow. Well-rounded. You need to if your child has a predilection, is drawn to something, let them explore that. Okay? If he want a damn cash register, let him have a cash register. Okay? Hell, if he want a sewing machine, he could grow up to be one of the top designers in the country. We want to say rest in peace to Louis Vuitton's black creative director. Black man married with children to a black woman. There is nothing wrong with wanting to do that. If he want to do hair, let him do hair. If she want to be a barber, let her be a barber. That's all I'm saying. Y'all need to grow up, some of y'all, and get your head out of this backward ass thinking, because we cannot progress as a society if we do not allow children to just be and explore. Because what happens to us in adulthood is that many of us realize, and this is happening to countless friends and associates that I know, where they have practiced law and found, I hate this shit. To this day, I remember when I was working for a very large firm before even going to law school. There was an attorney that had been practicing for 5 years. She said, I hate this shit. I'm becoming a massage therapist. That's right, girl. Go explore your happiness. Being a lawyer is cool. Being an accountant is cool. But is that really what makes you happy? And yes, they are needed. But if it does not make you happy, don't do it. And a lot of people right now are miserable because their parents forced them into something they didn't even want to be. All because they were wrapped up in this stinking thinking that if my son chooses to play the piano, people are going to think he's gay. If my son wants to be in musicals, that's a problem. If my daughter wants to go to the auto shop and that make that part of her trade, or go into plumbing, oh my God, she must be gay. Y'all need to let that shit go. You gotta let it go. But thank you, Millie. Thank you, Cheryl, for joining my TikTok. I have been Miss Sophia the Diva. Live life with no fear. Live like it's your last day. And let your children live the way they want to live too. Ain't no playing safe no more. Do you? I've been Miss Sophia the Diva.